The Los Angeles Lakers are now down 3-1 to the Minnesota Timberwolves after losing Game 4 yesterday by 3 points. And I'm going to try my best, try to stay as calm and collected as possible throughout this video, just to maintain some type of dignity and try to break down what has been going on in this series so far. And as you guys know, I predicted in this video that we see in the top right corner, the Los Angeles Lakers will beat the Timberwolves in 6 games. And after the first 3 games, I still believe that, honestly. Because in Game 3, nothing really stood out to me that like what the Timberwolves are doing is sustainable. The Lakers could easily win the next 3 games because Luka was sick in that Game 3. But this Game 4 was a real eye-opener here. Stop the music, stop the music, stop the music. Fuck all this shit. Fuck being as calm, cool, collected as possible. Fuck trying to maintain something that here. I'm going to start at the head of the table. The man you see on your thumbnail now. The man whose face is in the middle of the thumbnail. Whose whole thing is kind of based around of JJ REDICK. I understand. You are a rookie head coach. I understand you make mistakes. But a mistake like that is not excusable at all. There isn't a world of possibility where you decide to make NBA history, not in a good way, but in Game 4, you decide to make 0 subs for an entire half. That has never been done before in NBA history. No coach has never made a sub in an entire half in a playoff game. Do you know how insane that is to even think about? No one has ever done that. And on top of that, not only did you play 5 people for an entire half, LeBron James played basically 3 quarters straight and the last 2 minutes of the first quarter. Last time LeBron James sat down in that Game 4 was between the 4 and 2 minute mark in the first quarter. He took 2 minutes of rest in year 22, 40 years old, and yet you expected him to go into that fourth quarter fully energized. JJ REDICK, what the fuck have you been doing? To go out there and play Gabe Vincent for half of the first half, he played 12 minutes out of the 24 in the first half, played 0 in the second half, makes absolutely no sense to me. Especially when you need fresher bodies coming off that bench when you played them the entire third quarter. I understand playing them the entire third quarter because it was close at halftime, but you still maintained going into the fourth at 10-point lead. That is when you sub out your big 3 for the first 6 minutes of the quarter. You sub out your big 3 one by one throughout that fourth quarter to give them some rest to start the quarter. But no, you decided to ride with them for the entire fourth and expected a different outcome. Even if the Lakers did win this game, guess what? Now those 5 players are going to be tired going into Game 5. What did you accomplish by doing that? Why didn't Gabe Vincent get some burn? Why didn't Vanderbilt get some burn? Why didn't Jackson Hayes get some burn? In what world does your starting center only play the first 4 minutes of the game and you decide no, he is not serviceable enough to at least give you 4 to 5 more minutes? I am sorry, that makes absolutely no sense to me. JJ REDICK, you're losing the trust of your bench players by not believing them in the playoffs. You spent this whole season building a scheme around these players, building set plays that can help us when we're stuck. But ever since Luka Doncic became a Laker, you decided to throw out everything that we built for the first half of the season just to play Luka ball. And it works to a certain extent. At certain times in the game, it is time to divert away from Luka ball. It is time to get back to the basics. Back to the horn sets that were running even when AD and Luka weren't there. The horn sets the Lakers were running throughout the season was working. Even with Luka there, Luka not there, AD there, AD not there, it worked. But especially down in clutch, Timberwolves know, okay, they're going to play Luka ball. Get the ball out of Luka's hands and everything goes to shit. You had such a great third quarter. The Lakers couldn't score a basket. LeBron just kept running to the corner every possession. Same thing with Reeves. You turn them into spot-up shooters for what? Why? What is the point of keeping Reeves out there as just a spot-up shooter? Why not put Gabe in that place? Why not put Jordan Goodwin in that place? Because you're not using Reeves to his full capacity. Throughout the season, there has been times when you ran Reeves as a primary ball handler throughout stretches, even secondary ball handler throughout stretches. But throughout this entire series, you haven't utilized Reeves as a primary ball handler for an extended period of time like they did throughout the regular season. I understand it's the playoffs. I understand minutes get adjusted. But you can't expect Reeves to find a rhythm when he's not getting the ball in his hands and is regulated just a corner sitter. And in that third quarter, Reeves had 11 points in that third quarter, 3 of 4 from 3. Rui Hachimura had 10 points in that third quarter, 2 of 4 from 3. So I don't understand why they didn't start the fourth quarter with LeBron and Luka on the bench for at least 2 to 3 minutes for them to catch their breath and really get back into rhythm. But no, you decided to just run with them for the entire fourth quarter. You had a perfect third quarter. You scored 36 points in that third quarter, 7 of 14 from 3, compared to the Timberwolves who always scored 23. You outscored them by 13, had a 10-point lead going into the fourth, but you decided to still just run with the same 5 people. It does not make any sense to me. Why not just stagger the minutes for the first 4 to 6 minutes in the fourth quarter and then run with them again for the last 6 minutes? I don't care. But the point is to give them some fresh bodies. I understand that on the Timberwolves side, Anthony Edwards and Julius Randle basically played the entire second half. The other 3 people in that lineup were staggering the entire time. The entire half, there's 3 people coming in constantly. Each person plays 6 to 7 minutes, and Jaden McDaniels playing the entire fourth quarter. It was clear that the Timberwolves had fresher bodies coming off that bench that was helping them in clutch situations and giving their star players and other players more rest time. That was the whole point. Because if you start off that fourth quarter with Hayes in the lineup, with Reeves, Hachimura, and like Gabe Vincent, you're allowing yourself to keep a presence in the paint and have a secondary ball handler next to Reeves just for like a 2-minute stretch. With good enough defense to maintain. But no, you decided to run a 40-year-old LeBron into the ground for 38 minutes straight and decided to have Luka Doncic coming off a sickness play an entire half. It does not make any sense to me. The whole reason Laker fans had a problem with Darvin Ham is that he underutilized the bench. He kept 1 to 2 players throughout the year on the bench, getting basically no PT. Last year, it was Max Christie. Year before that was Lonnie Walker. That's what Laker fans were pissed off about him. And JJ Redick decided, you know what? I'm going to one-up that and not give the bench any playing time outside of Dorian Finney-Smith, who basically is just a full-time starter at this point, with Jackson Hayes not even 20 minutes in this series. It makes no sense. There's no way that you believe Jackson Hayes is that unplayable for him to only play 4 minutes an entire playoff game. That makes zero sense to me. Jackson Hayes in those 4 minutes had a lob, 2 fouls and a tech. I understand. A bad 4 minutes for him. Having a lob threat in the paint, even though it's not a great lob threat, really opens up the floor for Luka. Because we see Luka every time he drives, he looks into the paint and sees Ruga Hachimura in the corner, Dorian Finney-Smith in the corner, LeBron in the corner, and Austin Reeves. 2 options really, either go up with there or kick out. There's not a third option, which is the lob threat, which Luka needs in that paint to give him the extra option. But he decided to stick to the best lineup on-off numbers, I guess. Best lineup available for an entire half. I just don't understand it. Especially when the Lakers are basically running Rudy Gobert off the court every single time. He played 6 minutes in that third quarter. It was a -11. He was terrible in that third quarter. He's still getting playing time. Why can't JJ just give Jackson Hayes at least 10 minutes a game? I don't understand. Gabe Vincent only getting 12 minutes in this game didn't make sense to me either. But JJ has to understand, he has to trust his players. Because you really have nothing to lose down 2-1. Just giving your star players some rest. So now going into game 5, which is on Wednesday, LeBron basically playing the entire game. And with Luka playing basically also 46 minutes. Hachimura played 41 minutes. Reeves played 35, which is not bad. And then Dorian Finney-Smith playing 41. You ran your players to the ground just for a loss. And it was obvious in that fourth quarter that they were getting gassed more than ever. Luka Doncic wasn't getting downhill as quickly as he was in the first 3 quarters because he started running out of juice. And I have been seeing things about saying, oh, LeBron James only scored 2 points in the fourth quarter. How about the 3 blocks and the steal he had? He was still playing elite defense on that other end, while Luka was supposed to take us home in that fourth quarter. Same reason why we lost game 3 is why we lost game 4. We relied on Luka too heavily, which resulted in a loss. Because in game 3, Luka, which I also blame JJ for this, by the way. In game 3, Luka Doncic clearly not well. He was sick. We knew that from the start of the game, and by the end of the game, it was clear. JJ Redick, as a coach, has to sit Luka down and tell him the last 4 or 5 minutes left in this quarter to sit Luka's ass down and run the ball through LeBron. Because LeBron hit 3 straight threes to keep the Lakers in this game. But LeBron took 1 shot the last 4 minutes of game 3. Because Luka was still being ball dominant even though he had a shit game. I just don't understand why. I don't understand why the Lakers decided to divert to Luka every time the game gets close, even though Luka's having a shit game. We're too reliant on Luka. JJ clearly didn't prep these guys enough when Luka has bad games. And when LeBron has 38 points, you give him the ball the last 4 minutes. I don't give a shit what the hell else is going on. And with LeBron James playing 87 minutes in 2 games, it is just not good and is not sustainable for another game. And if the Lakers do somehow pull off game 5, I really find it unlikely that they'll win game 6 and game 7. The way the Timberwolves are playing, their physicality, their energy, the Lakers just can't match it. They don't have the athletes to, and they clearly don't have the discipline to either. JJ Redick is making pivotal mistakes in the wrong moments, and Anthony Edwards is just one of them ones. And what was the point? I'm calling it now on Wednesday. JJ is going to overcompensate for what he did in Game 4 and play the bench more than he should. I don't see the Lakers winning this series. Call me a fake fan all you want. I'm seeing the writing on the wall. This series does somehow end up going to 7. I would put my money on the Lakers winning. Game 5, I see the Lakers do win in Game 5, honestly. Game 6 is where I think it ends. I think Minnesota closes out in Target Center and calls it a series at 6. Advance to the second round. This team clearly was never a championship level team, and I said that from day one getting Luka. It's just not constructed to be a perfect team around Luka, especially after the Mark Williams trade fell through. With no clear lob threat, with no clear center rotation, this team was doomed from the start. I didn't expect it to be a first round matchup. The main problem of the Lakers defensively is the fact that Julius Randle and Jaden McDaniels, we realized really early on that the Lakers have zero rim protection, and they keep attacking the paint over and over and over again. And on top of that, the Lakers are doing hard closeouts on both of them. I'm looking forward to the offseason at this point. I have mentally checked out. Whatever happens here happens. And to say that I'm scapegoating JJ, he's still a rookie head coach. He still has a lot to learn. He's really impressed me throughout this first year. But those rookie head coach mistakes are really starting to bite us in the ass right now. And it is clear. And as a Laker fan, at this point, all the disappointment is gone. I'm accepting my fate. This series is over in 6 games. It was fun when we lasted. On to the next year.